Easy grammar. Page 28. Remember that a contraction is two words. A contraction is a word made when two words are placed together and shortened. They're squished together, and the apostrophe shows where the letter or letters have been taken out. A. Write 4 contractions that begin with the pronoun I. Write 4 contractions that begin with the pronoun I. 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 What do we need next? We need an apostrophe. How about I'm? I am. I'll. I will. I've. I have. I have. Remember to curve your apostrophe a little better than I've done here. It's more like a curve. There you go. So I'm, I'll, I've, and I'd. I had, or I would. I'd. So I'm, I'll, I've, I'd. Part B. Write 17 contractions that end with nt. And what is nt? N-O-T. But the O has been taken out, and instead we have the apostrophe, nt. Let's review the list again. Aren't, can't, couldn't, don't, doesn't, didn't, hasn't, haven't, hadn't, isn't, mightn't, mustn't, shouldn't, wasn't, weren't. Do these all end with not? Shouldn't, wasn't, weren't, won't, wouldn't. Let's write them down. Don't forget your apostrophe. Now let's look at exercises C, D, E, and F. Write 3 contractions that begin with you. You. What do we see here? What begins with you? I see you'll, your, and you'd. So your, you'll, and you'd. And I'll do you'd with you. You'd. Y-O-U, apostrophe D. You'd. You would. Letter D. Write 3 contractions that begin with w. So let's look at our list again. W-H. What begins with w? I see what's, where's, W-H, I guess whose. What's, where's, and whose. Let's write those down. What's, where's, and whose. Now we're looking at E, 2 contractions that begin with we. We are, we will, we would. What do we see here? I see we have and we are. So we're and we've. We're and we've. And the last one, F. Write the following contractions. He is. So put them together, we get he's. He's. He, take out the I, apostrophe, S. There is, theirs. There, apostrophe, S. She is, she's. She, take out the I, apostrophe S. Easy Grammar, page 29. Verbs and contractions. Write the contraction for the bold-faced words. Then write an ending for each sentence. Example. Where is, we can turn that into where's. Where's, and let's finish the sentence. Where's your brother? Where's your brother? So I'm going to finish the sentences for you. You're going to write what you hear me say. Number 1. You aren't a failure. You aren't a failure. You aren't a failure. Number 2. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. Number 3. Mike can't stand on his head. Mike can't stand on his head. Mike can't stand on his head. Number 4. I'm going with you. I'm going with you. I'm going with you. Number 5. Next year, they'll attend a rodeo. Next year, they'll attend a rodeo. Next year, they'll attend a rodeo. Number 6. I think that you're a good skater. 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 Number 7. Hank won't be staying long. Hank won't be staying long. Hank won't be staying long. Number 8. What's Florida's state bird? What's Florida's state bird? What's Florida's state bird? Number 9. Haven't you heard the news? Haven't you heard the news? Haven't you heard the news? And number 10. That car doesn't have brakes. That car doesn't have brakes. That car doesn't have brakes. Okay, and you're going to do 11 through 17 on your own. Let's check the answers for 1 through 10. You aren't a failure. Check the spelling. You aren't a failure. He's my best friend. Period at the end. Go ahead and put your own periods. Mike can't stand on his head. Period. I'm going with you. Period. Next year, they'll attend a rodeo. I think that you're a good skater. Hank won't be staying long. We don't say wilt, it becomes won't. Will not becomes won't. Hank won't be staying long, period. What's Florida's state bird? And look at the apostrophe here, that's a possessive. Add that if you don't already have it. What's Florida's state bird? Haven't you heard the news? That car doesn't have brakes. Okay, and you'll complete 11 through 17 on your own. Easy Grammar, page 30. Contractions and verbs. Write the contraction for the bold-faced words, then write an ending for each sentence. I'm going to read aloud 1 through 5, and then we'll check your answers, and you'll continue 6 through 18. Number 1. My neighbor couldn't lift the heavy ladder. My neighbor couldn't lift the heavy ladder. My neighbor couldn't lift the heavy ladder. Number 2. There's mustard in the refrigerator. There's mustard in the refrigerator. Refrigerator. Chunk that word. There's mustard in the refrigerator. The waiter didn't bring extra napkins. The waiter didn't bring extra napkins. Napkins. The waiter didn't bring extra napkins. Number 4. I shall, or I will. I'll give this to your sister. I'll give this to your sister. I'll give this to your sister. Number 5. During the holiday, they're staying with me. During the holiday, they're staying with me. During the holiday, they're staying with me. Now you're going to do 6 through 18, but let's first check 1 through 5 together. My neighbor couldn't lift the heavy ladder. Notice the double D, ladder. My neighbor couldn't lift the heavy ladder. There's mustard in the refrigerator. Look at how to spell that. Refrigerator. Number 3. The waiter didn't bring extra napkins. The waiter didn't bring extra napkins. Number 4. I'll give this to your sister. I'll give this to your sister. And number 5. During the holiday, they're staying with me. During the holiday, they're staying with me. And you're going to complete 6 through 18 with your own sentence endings.